Have you ever seen someone with body parts so big they seem almost impossible to believe? From people with the world's largest arms and legs to others with jaw-dropping features you have to see to believe. These are not your ordinary individuals. Get ready, because today we're counting down crazy 15 people with body parts that are larger than normal. Are you new in this video? Click subscribe and hit notification bell. So let's get started. Meet Mehmet Özürek, born October 17, 1949, in Yusufeli, Artvin Province, Turkey. A man who earned global fame thanks to a truly unique physical trait. He held the Guinness World Record for the longest nose, male. His nose measured 880 centimeters, 346 inches, from the bridge to the tip. That measurement was most recently reconfirmed in 2020 and 2021, dispelling the myth that noses always get bigger with age. Growing up, Mehmet was sometimes bullied because of the size of his nose. But as he got older, he adopted a different perspective. He called his nose a blessing. He often claimed that his sense of smell was sharper than average. In interviews, he'd say things like, "I say there is a smell here. Others say they don't smell it." Mehmet also liked to use humor when talking about his nose. At one point, he even said he could inflate a balloon using it. Sadly, Mehmet Özürek passed away in May 2023 from a heart attack. He was 73 years old. His life reminds us that sometimes the things which make us different can become our most known legacy. Meet Devendra Suthar from Himatnagar, Gujarat, India, a carpenter whose life story grabbed global attention because of an extraordinary physical trait. Devendra was born with polydactyly, a rare genetic condition in which one has more than the usual number of fingers or toes. In Devendra's case, he has a total of 28 digits. 14 fingers and 14 toes, making him the person with the most fingers and toes on a living person, a record officially verified by Guinness World Records on 11th November 2014. Despite the extra digits, Devendra leads a normal life. He works as a carpenter, using his hands daily for cutting, shaping, and building. But it isn't always easy. He has to be especially cautious when handling saws, hammers, and sharp tools so as not to damage any of his extra fingers. Physical inconveniences are part of his life too. Finding footwear that fits properly is tough because the toes on his feet are wider and more numerous than normal. He also worries about accidentally injuring one of his extra digits in his work. Socially, Devendra embraces his uniqueness. He says that people treat him like a celebrity in his hometown. Curious visitors come to see his hands and feet. He doesn't want to remove the extra digits medically. For him, they are part of who he is. He considers them a blessing rather than a burden. Meet Mahogany Geeter, a woman from Tennessee who was born with a rare condition called lymphedema, which causes an abnormal buildup of lymph fluid in the body's tissues. Since birth, her left leg has been severely affected. It has grown so large that it weighs about 100 pounds, 45 kilos, making it visibly and physically different from her other leg. Growing up with this condition brought many challenges. School was hard because of bullying. And everyday life, clothes shopping, walking, even moving around, often involved extra difficulty. She often hid her leg under long pants or skirts to avoid stares and judgment. But Mahogany's story is one of turning those hardships into strength. In 2017, while working at Walmart, she was approached by a photographer who saw her potential. That chance meeting helped launch her modeling career. She now uses social media and her modeling work to raise awareness about lymphedema, body positivity, and self-acceptance. Rather than seeing her leg only as something to be ashamed of, she embraces her difference, encouraging others to love their own unique bodies. Her journey highlights how one body part being different can deeply affect one's life, physically, emotionally, socially, but also how courage and self-love can transform that into something inspiring. Meet Mikkel Raffinelli, a woman whose incredible body shape has made headlines around the world. Born in Los Angeles, California, Mikkel is known for having what many call the widest hips in the world, measuring an astonishing 8 feet around, or about 2.4 meters in circumference. Standing only 5 foot 4 inches tall and weighing around 420 pounds, Mikkel's body is truly one of a kind. Her unique shape developed gradually after the birth of her 4 children. She says that after each pregnancy, her hips grew wider until they reached their record-breaking size. Daily life isn't always easy. Mikkel needs special furniture, a custom-made bed, and even drives a truck instead of a car to fit comfortably. Walking through narrow doorways or sitting in public seats can be a challenge, but she faces it all with confidence and humor. Despite negative comments online, Mikkel embraces her body completely. She's proud of her figure and works as a plus-size model and body positivity advocate, encouraging others to love themselves just the way they are. As she once said, "My hips are who I am. They make me unique, and I wouldn't change that for anything." Her story reminds us that beauty truly comes in all shapes and sizes, and that confidence is what makes anyone stand out. Meet Huang Chunkai, born 29th of December 1977 in a small village in Hunan Province, China. What made him known to the world is an extreme case of neurofibromatosis, a condition that caused tumors to grow over his face so large that they distorted his features and made daily life nearly impossible. From around the age of 4, his family noticed odd growths near his eye, which were later diagnosed as neurofibromas. Because of poverty and medical risk, his parents delayed surgical treatment. Over the years, the tumors expanded, covering his left eye and ear, hanging over his jaw, and weighing him down. By his early 30s, the tumor on his face alone was estimated to weigh about 15 kilograms. In 2007, doctors at Fuda Cancer Hospital in Guangzhou stepped in and performed a risky surgery to remove the largest portion, about 15 kilos from the right side of his face. A second surgery in early 2008 removed another 4.5 kilo of tissue. There were further operations, and in later years, doctors had removed in total over 20 kilograms of mass, drastically reducing the size of the tumor. These surgeries changed his life. After many years of suffering, being unable to speak clearly, eat well, sleep, or even move without being burdened by the weight, Huang Chunkai gradually regained a measure of normalcy. He no longer hides from people. He can eat on his own, walk more freely, and though risks remain, tumors may regrow, he has more control over his day-to-day life. Huang's story is both tragic and inspiring, a testament to medical courage, human endurance, and how much difference compassionate attention and resources can make. Through his surgeries, media exposure, and the support of medical teams, he went from being hidden away to being seen, respected, and giving others hope. Meet Kim Goodman, a woman from the United States who holds one of the most unusual and eye-popping, literally, Guinness World Records ever recorded. She is best known for achieving the farthest eyeball protrusion, female, that is, the ability to pop her eyeballs out of their sockets further than anyone else. Kim can extend her eyes 12 millimeters, that's about 0.47 inches, beyond the edge of her eye sockets. That measurement was made official on 2nd November 2007 in Istanbul, Turkey during a Guinness World Records event. Her gift of eyeball protrusion didn't come from deliberate training, but from a chance incident. Goodman discovered it after being struck in the head by a hockey mask. After that, she realized she could voluntarily make her eyeballs bulge, or pop, on cue, including when she yawns. Though it might sound painful or scary, Kim says it doesn't hurt her. She's even been teased or called names as a child, Popeye among them, but over time she embraced this ability, turning what was once a curiosity into a defining, record-breaking feature. Kim Goodman's life reminds us that sometimes it's the strange, unexpected quirks that make us unforgettable. Her record isn't about strength, speed, or size. It's a reminder that human bodies can do remarkably odd things. And in her case, when her eyes pop out, she definitely makes people stare. This man has a rare condition that caused one of his arms to grow abnormally large compared to the rest of his body. Despite his unusual appearance, he continues to live a confident and inspiring life. Experts believe this could be caused by macrodystrophia lipomatosa or Proteus syndrome, both extremely rare disorders that lead to abnormal tissue and bone growth. His story reminds us that true strength comes from acceptance and courage, not appearance. What can you say about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Meet Andrea Emilova Ivanova, a controversial influencer from Bulgaria who has become known worldwide for her extreme cosmetic transformations. Born in Sofia, she first began altering her appearance in 2018 when she was about 21 years old. Her main goal? To have the world's largest lips. Over time, she's had dozens of lip filler injections, by some counts over 30 injections, and has poured tens of thousands of dollars into lip enhancements alone. But her transformation goes beyond just her lips. Andrea has also modified her cheekbones, chin, jawline, and even her breast size, from 75C to 75E, in her pursuit of her ideal look. Her aesthetic vision is heavily inspired by exaggerated beauty standards. She often refers to wanting to look like a Bratz doll, embracing bold features, heavy makeup, sharp face contours, large lips and cheeks. She has stated that natural beauty is boring and that she prefers eccentric, standout looks. The cost of this ongoing transformation has been significant. On lip fillers alone, she spent more than $26,000. Modifications in other facial parts and enhancements have added further cost. There are also warnings from medical experts. Risks like tissue necrosis, death of body tissue due to blocked blood flow, are being raised, especially since she's undergone very aggressive procedures. At one point, having 6 cosmetic procedures in one day: lips, chin, jaw, cheekbone enhancements, etc. Despite all the attention, both passionate support and criticism, Andrea says she feels happier and more confident with her transformed appearance. She openly expresses her desire to continue pushing the limits of these enhancements, aiming not just for the biggest lips, but also to develop the biggest cheekbones and create sharper, more dramatic facial features. Her journey raises a lot of questions about beauty, self-expression, how far is too far, and at what cost. But for Andrea, this all seems to be a choice, one she stands by despite warnings, pain, and skepticism. Meet Samantha. Sam Ramsdell, a TikTok star and comedian from Norwalk, Connecticut, who has become known around the world for one striking physical feature: her record-breaking mouth gape. In 2021, when she was about 31 years old, Sam set a Guinness World Record for the largest mouth gape, female. She can open her mouth 6.52 centimeters, about 2.56 inches, from top to bottom. Not only that, but measured widthwise, her mouth spans roughly 10.33 centimeters, 4.07 inches. Growing up, Sam wasn't totally comfortable with her unusually large mouth. She faced teasing and insults, kids called her names, and it made her feel insecure. But over time, she flipped the script. Her mouth went from being something she tried to hide to something she embraces and even celebrates. Social media played a big role. Sam's TikTok videos, comedy, singing, and showing off her mouth size helped her gain thousands, then millions of followers. One of her favorite things to do is to try fitting large items in her mouth. A whole green apple, large fries, an orange, or a giant cookie. It's part of what surprises people and what made her famous. Now, Sam often refers to her record not just as a quirky fact, but something empowering. She says her mouth, once a source of insecurity, is now one of her biggest strengths. She tells people, "Yes, I have a big mouth, but at least I have the biggest one in the world." Her story shows how something that feels like a flaw can become a superpower. Confidence, self-acceptance, and owning what makes you different. That's Samantha Ramsdell's message. Meet Mandy Sellers, born 20th of February 1975 in Lancashire, England. She lives with a rare genetic mutation that causes local gigantism in both of her legs, meaning her lower body grows massively, out of proportion from the rest of her frame. From early childhood, Mandy's legs and feet were abnormally large. As she grew up, the condition worsened. At one point, her legs weighed up to 17 stone, 238 lbs or about 108 kilos, while her upper body remained slender. In 2006, some doctors thought she had Proteus syndrome, a very rare disorder of overgrowth, famously linked to the elephant man, but more recent genetic testing identified a mutation in the PIK3CA gene as the underlying cause for Mandy's condition. In 2010, things came to a crisis. One of her legs became infected and developed septicemia, forcing doctors to amputate her left leg above the knee for her safety. However, even after amputation, the stump started growing again with alarming speed. Within about 22 months it ballooned, growing in circumference to about a meter around in parts. It became too heavy for her prosthetic leg to handle. Doctors found some hope when they prescribed a trial drug targeting the mutated gene. Over time, this treatment helped reduce the weight of her legs by several stone, 6-stone drop, and eased her mobility somewhat, even if she remains largely housebound. Despite the many physical challenges, infections, mobility issues, needing special clothes and vehicles, long periods in hospital, Mandy is vocal about being proud of who she is. She has been part of TV documentaries and has used her story to raise awareness about rare growth disorders. Her story is one of resilience, embracing a body that many would see as a burden, but finding strength, identity, and even hope through her journey. Meet Chanel Tapper, a woman from California who holds a jaw-dropping Guinness World Record, the longest tongue, female. In 2010, her tongue was officially measured at 975 cm, 3.8 inches, from the tip to her upper lip. Chanel says she first realized how unusually long her tongue was when she was about 8 years old, after seeing Halloween photos where hers stuck out more than others. Since then, her tongue has become her claim to fame, and not just in measurements. She loves to show off its tricks, touching her nose or chin, flipping red Solo cups, removing Jenga blocks, even curling it to hold a spoon. People often react with shock or scream when they see her tongue fully extended, and Chanel admits she kind of enjoys that dramatic reaction. Having earned this unique record, Chanel has used it to open doors. She's traveled to worldwide events and even appeared in a fashion campaign for Diesel, where her tongue was painted for the visuals. Chanel embraces her uniqueness. What began as a startling oddity has become a symbol of pride, curiosity, and the fun side of human diversity. Meet Macy Curran, a young American woman whose legs have earned her a spot in the record books. At the age of 17, she was officially declared by Guinness World Records as having the longest legs for a female, with her left leg measuring 135.267 cm, 53.2255 in, and her right leg 134.3 cm, 52.874 in. Macy hails from Cedar Park, Texas. Standing at about 6 ft 10 in, her legs make up nearly 60% of her total height. Growing up, she noticed early on that she towered over her peers. As she got older, her extraordinary leg length began to attract attention and eventually led to her Guinness titles for both teenager and female categories. Life with such long legs brings challenges. Massey says she often bumps her head on door frames, struggles to find clothes and shoes that fit, and has to get many of her outfits custom made. Cars are tricky too. Normal vehicles often don't accommodate her leg length comfortably, but she doesn't let these difficulties define her. With a strong social media presence, over 1 million followers on TikTok, Macy uses her platform to promote self-acceptance, body positivity, and the notion that something that makes you different can also empower you. Macy's story is a bold reminder that our quirks, our extremes, can turn into strengths. Her record-breaking legs are not just a spectacle. They represent confidence, uniqueness, and the power to own one's identity. Meet Sain Mumtaz, a man from Pakistan whose extreme condition has drawn both curiosity and concern. He is reported to live near the road between Lahore and Narowal. From childhood, Sain has had an unusually large and distorted skull, said to be so deformed that some local observers believe his head is out of proportion compared to his body. His facial and skull growth is symmetric, which has led some to speculate that his condition might not be Proteus syndrome, which often affects one side asymmetrically, but another rare congenital disorder or dysmorphology. At around 18 years old, he and his family began seeking medical attention to better understand what was causing the growth. He has expressed desire to find out what is wrong, whether anything can be done, and hopes for a future where he might run a rickshaw business. But he also acknowledges that, given his condition, marriage seems unlikely. Daily life is difficult for Sain. The weight and size of his head make many simple tasks challenging. He reportedly fears social stigma, physical discomfort, and wants medical relief. Doctors and geneticists have shown interest. One Australian clinical geneticist and others have considered traveling to Pakistan to see him, assess with scans and tests, and determine possible treatments. We don't have verified measurements, weight of the skull, exact dimensions, medical diagnosis. Much of what's reported comes from local or informal sources. His case remains largely undocumented in formal scientific medical literature, which means there's much that's unknown. Sain Mumtaz's story is one of suffering, mystery, and hope, showing human resilience in the face of extreme physical difference and raising questions about medicine, identity, stigma, and what normal even means. Rezia Begum is a woman from Bangladesh whose right leg has swollen to an extreme size. Reports state it weighs around 60 kilos. She is about 40 years old and a mother of two. Her swelling reportedly began following the birth of her second daughter, about 18 years ago, when she first noticed abnormal enlargement in her leg. Over time, the swelling worsened, and despite seeking medical help, she has not found a definitive cure. Medical observers suspect elephantiasis, a lymphatic disease often caused by parasites, which can lead to extreme swelling of limbs when the lymphatic drainage is obstructed. However, doctors noted that tests and possible surgery would be needed to confirm the diagnosis. Because of her condition, Rezia reportedly is bedridden and heavily dependent on family support. Her family says she cannot work or help the household, and requires multiple people to help move her. While the reports are dramatic, it's worth noting these accounts are based on media coverage and some social media reposts. There's limited access to peer-reviewed medical documentation confirming every detail. Meet Eric Kilburn Jr., a 16-year-old teenager from Goodrich, Michigan, USA, who's made headlines by officially breaking not just one, but two Guinness World Records. Eric now holds the record for the largest feet on a living teenager. His feet measure 34-30 centimeters, 1350 inches, and his shoe size is US size 23, equivalent to UK size 22. He also holds the record for the largest hands on a teenager, measuring 23.20 centimeters, 9.13 inches. From a young age, Eric noticed he was much larger than his peers. He says by kindergarten he was already noticeably taller and larger. By 5th grade, shopping for shoes became a real challenge. There were virtually no stores with his size. Because regular stores couldn't meet his needs, his family had to resort to custom-made shoes. A single pair could cost over $500. At one point, he was having to use Crocs for years, including in winter, leading to painful feet issues like calluses, blisters, and even ingrown toenails. Thanks to the publicity and his record application process, major apparel brands like Puma and Under Armour, and even NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, stepped in to help provide custom footwear. Eric also wants to use his experience to help others. His mother founded a nonprofit called the Big Shoe Network to support people who have trouble finding shoes and clothing that fit because of unusual sizes. Despite the difficulties, Eric has taken it all in stride. He says that attention, while sometimes awkward, also allows him to inspire others to embrace what makes them different. His message: it's okay to stand out. Don't let negativity distract you from your goals. At just 22 years old, Gilvanide Martins from Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil, captured international attention not for fame or fortune, but because of a rare and deeply personal physical condition. With feet that have grown to extraordinary proportions, she has never been able to wear shoes in her life. Doctors attribute her condition to a form of lymphatic filariasis, commonly known as elephantiasis, which causes chronic swelling and continues to progress over time. Gilvanide bravely navigates daily life barefoot, pursuing simple joys like attending parties and dressing up, without ever being able to match her outfits with footwear. "I always go out barefoot," she says, capturing both her resilience and the small heartbreaks of her everyday reality. Despite the physical and emotional challenges, her spirit shines through. Her story is more than a tale of physical difference. It's a testament to human strength and hope. Though doctors say there's little that can be done to halt the growth of her feet, Gilvanide dreams simply. She wants to wear a fashionable pair of high heels one day. In that singular wish lies not only a longing for normalcy, but a profound statement of identity, self-expression, and dreams undeterred by circumstance. And there you have it. 15 incredible people whose extraordinary bodies defy logic and redefine what's possible. Each one is a living reminder that being different can also mean being amazing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories about rare people and unbelievable transformations. See you in the next one. Only here on Polo TV, where we uncover the world's most extraordinary human stories.